Hello everyone and welcome to the new video, a new style of video for me. This is a 2025 War of the Ring retrospective statistics game show. In continuation of the last video where I did 2025 superlatives with games like the longest game and the quickest concede and such, I am continuing to do more statistics and discussion on games that happened in 2025 in our Discord channel, and I'm joined this time for a quiz show by a former rank 1 player on the ladder, Adobim. Welcome.
Thank you. It was a full 16 hours of glory before, before crashing down.
It was fun. It was fun while it lasted, right?
Certainly.
I'm also joined by a member of the Discord channel and all-around friend of the channel, Biz. Welcome.
Hi. Yeah, excited to play.
Excellent. And then finally, by a webmaster and also a member of the Discord, Cirrus. Welcome.
Hello there. Happy to be here.
So if you've seen my previous, you viewer have seen my previous videos of Do You Know War of the Ring, this will be a little like that in the sense that there will be guests on the show. And other than that, it's going to be pretty different. We just ran the contestants through a couple example questions. So the first example question was, what was the free people win rate in base games where Treebeard was mustered? I'll give the audience a couple seconds to think about that. Turns out Treebeard's not very good, and also nobody plays with him. The answer was 33% of games, i.e. only 3 games were submitted. So other than that, the other example round we did was name that axes. So I gave the contestants a graph with the axes removed, the labels on the axes removed. And this was their example. You can pause the video if you like, but this was average interest rating versus rounds of play. So longer games are enjoyed more, which is kind of interesting. But with that little quick idea of what's going on, I will give the quick disclaimer. I have done my best to verify this data and present it accurately, but it's quite possible I've messed it up somewhere. Math is hard. And with that, we'll begin our show. So most questions will be 1 point. It will say otherwise if that is not true. And numbers, I generally accepted a range of numbers. The numbers that the contestants cannot see but will be on screen for the viewer will display what were acceptable numbers for a valid answer. And then we go to question 1. Contestants.
Wait, what is the scoring system?
Each question was generally worth 1 point. And there will be a couple at the end that were worth bonus. Most points wins.
So the person who is closest gets the point?
No, multiple people can get the point. All you have to
okay.
do is answer accurately.
Oh, okay.
So the guy dominates the ladder and all of a sudden needs to beat all of us at the points.
It's very competitive.
Oh well, yeah, of course. I need to know that. I need to plan ahead, you know.
All right. First question. How many games of War of the Ring were reported in 2025? This includes all variations, rated, not rated, reported to the Discord for 2025. And the contestants are going to answer via Discord, but not submit their answer. Viewer, you can think about what number you think that would be. There were quite a few games played. I'll give our contestants a second here.
I should just know this because we track all this data, and yet
somehow you just don't have it memorized.
Somehow.
All right. Give your answers in 3, 2, 1, go. The answer was 7,859.
Oh, wow.
I gave a 5% window around that, so anything from 7450-ish to 8250-ish would have been a correct answer. So no points for anyone today for this question.
I think Biz was much closer than us. I mean, my line of thinking was Stella Rosa himself has like 1,000 of them.
Yes, he is.
So,
was thinking
it
about
has
that
to
too.
be, and it can't be that he played like,
He
you
was
know,
1 in 7 of all
it makes
games.
really,
Yep.
yeah, that's so crazy. Okay, so I thought 4,000 makes sense, but
Stella Rosa is actually an advanced prototype of an Ares bot that
That
is
was-
learning how to play War of the Ring.
He's actually ChatGPT.
quite, yeah,
And that actually
cool.
averages out to 21 games a day, which is interesting. I don't feel like I see a game per hour, roughly, but
My estimate was actually based on the days where I've checked. I've seen maybe roughly 10 games a day, but the average must be much higher than that.
so no points for question 1, which will bring us into question 2. So remember the number 7,859, because the second question is, how many of the reported games were base games? Just base games, no Treebeard, no cities, flat base games with balance mechanics possible. So tokens or dwarven rings were allowed for this question.
Is Treebeard included?
He is not included. So you had to play a pure base game, friendly or rated. After this question, the vast majority of the questions will be only for rated games. I'll try and clarify if it matters. So of the 7,859 submitted games, how many were base games? Carry the 3.
These are great questions.
Thank you. But I put a good bit of work on this, and first off, thanks to Cirrus and Chelsea for the website and the great download. That all made this possible in
Oh
the first
yeah,
place.
that's yeah, a really great website and a huge improvement from the Google Docs we had.
You'll make me
Yes.
blush. Stop it.
All right, give your answers in 3, 2, 1, go. We have Adobim with 6,600, Biz 5,200, and Cirrus 6,680. The answer was 6765. So that it means that both Adobim and Cirrus were close enough for a point.
Hell yeah.
So my number is exactly 85%. So we're close to that then.
Yeah, I felt so too. I thought it's 80 to 90% would be like the base game and
Yeah, and
and then
That's more than I'd think. I thought it would be closer to 2/3.
yeah, I was actually a little surprised. So the extra stats here are that 1,000 games included Loam or Lords, just under 200 games included Warriors, 22 games included Kings, and 69 games included Treebeard, which the vast majority of those were with Warriors.
Did you say 69 games included Treebeard?
That he was a valid component to be played, not necessarily that he was mustered.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then sadly, 0 games were submitted with Sieges of Middle-earth. The unreleased.
Alas, maybe next year.
Yeah. We'll hope for sometime in 26 we get at least one. And of course, only 22 Kings of Middle-earth games because they had to be TTS games in order to submit. So
how cool did those new Siege minis look, huh?
They're good. I am with the rest of the crowd. I do hope there is a at least promo, if not actual base game or actual expansion component of a Grand mini.
How could you not?
Preferably on actual little chains so he swings. But, while I'm wishing for that kind of stuff, I also wish for a unicorn. So, All right. It's 1-0 to 1. All to play for. Our next question is a graph question. So I'm going to send the contestants this picture, and they must tell me what the axes are of this picture.
Oh, boy.
So this is from 2025 War of the Ring data. What could this be?
Okay.
The
Yeah.
it's like a good meal. If there's no talking, you know you've done it right.
I've got a guess for the x-axis, I suppose. Well, I'm not a good guess though. What is this?
So it's something that goes into the hundreds on the x-axis and the dozens on the y.
No idea what the x-axis could be. No idea.
I will give this hint. The graphs will generally be related to either the questions we just asked or the questions we're about to ask, which doesn't help you at all.
Well, I've got an answer that's certainly wrong, but at least could
it's
fit
something.
numbers that look like this, yeah.
Okay.
Wow, I have nothing.
Gonna give you a 10-second warning here, which I'm definitely counting and not just kind of making up arbitrarily. Okay, gonna need an answer submitted in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Submit. Biz, we've got combat
Oh,
dice
that's
rolled
not good.
versus number of shadow attacks. Cirrus, we've got number of unique players versus game played. That's actually a pretty good submission.
Yeah, I have
And
nothing.
Adobim, we got nothing. This is games played per day.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Which is interesting. I would have expected like a general increase or like a sharp increase right about the time the tournament started, which would be, Marchish. But it's generally consistent all the way until late July, where it just tanks for
Yeah,
2-3
summertime.
months.
Did you check last year if it's the same, like...
I think we
It
started
hasn't-
pretty early last year. I don't remember the exact dates, but
No, I mean, like...
go for it. Go for it, Adobim.
I was just going to say I can't believe I saw a graph with the x-axis going to 365 and didn't think the year.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know. I didn't connect that either.
that makes a lot of sense, actually. No, I was wondering if, like in 2024, the pattern is similar.
That would be
Like
that would be
people...
interesting. I don't have that available to show in this moment, but that would be interesting. But yeah, and actually this for 2023 through 2025, there were 23,000 and change games submitted. So actually 2025 we were a hair light on the average, but not by much. Effectively the same. Effectively 8,000 games a year. So, and then this is not for points, but just for kicks. If I showed you this graph, what do you think the red dots are?
Oh.
It's like expansion. Oh, do we? It's
Yeah, go
is
for
it
it.
for
Just go for it.
points?
Just
Is it
just
for
for it.
expansion games?
Good guess. It's not expansion games.
It's not expansion games. It's not a well, so it can't be a daily average because we just talked about
Correct.
the daily average being higher than 10.
Number of concessions.
That would be
Number
funny.
of-
I definitely should have done that. That would have been funny.
Number of individual players
Oh,
playing.
I know what that is. That's number of games played by Stella Rosa.
Yep, that is Stella Rosa. Him playing his 1 out of 7 of every game played. So shout out to Stella Rosa. You're a cool guy, but man, leave some games for the rest of us.
Stella Rosa is the only reason you can get a game on a Friday night. That's very important to the community.
There is that. And he's a good player too.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So there were no points there. I did bury the lead a little bit, but we'll now enter the section of the game where we talk about win rates. So across all levels, What was the shadow win rate for rated base games with no balance tokens and no dwarven rings? Please give me it in percentage with 1 decimal point. So just take all submitted rated games, no sorting other than it must be base game only, no balance tokens, no dwarven rings. And again, for 2025 only.
I know what our conventional data has said in the past, so that'll be my jumping off point.
And in general, for these percentage questions moving forward, I accept a 1% window, so a plus minus 0.5%.
Oh, 1%? That's stingy,
pretty
sir.
Well, we'll
I gotta
find,
think about the percentage for a second.
if this suddenly becomes a very low scoring game, I might have to widen that out a bit.
Maybe just give it to the closest answer. If
Okay, how about this? If no one gets it, I give it to the closest answer.
Yeah,
Am I allowed to query our database in real time
No, you
to
are
check
not.
it?
Goes to quick general chat real quick. Hey, guys.
Crowdsource these things.
But yeah, that's a good idea, Adobim. If no one gets it, we'll give it to the person who's closest. So, all right, everybody got an answer submitted. 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh.
Wow.
Wow. Adobim at
That's
47,
crazy.
54.7, Biz at 54.7, and Cirrus at 55. The answer is 55.8. So Cirrus gets the point.
Come on.
You guys took yourselves out of the running of the 1% number by 0.1%.
So yeah, 55.8, which is interesting. That of course makes the free people 44.2. The kind of side note I have here is that white in chess, depending on how you want to count draws and stuff like that, is for 52 to 56% win rate. So War of the Ring base game across all levels is the same balance as chess.
Broken game, change the rules.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot to say about this. I don't believe it.
You don't believe it?
I don't
Get
believe
on
it.
your soapbox. What's up?
Yeah, please.
Because when you play the game,
Yeah.
you just it's not 55-45. I play both chess and War of the Ring. I can see why chess would be 55-45, but I can't see how War of the Ring is. It needs so much good things or right
go.
things.
You think it should be higher or lower for Shadow?
Much higher, much higher. In my mind, it's like it's 70-30, 65-35.
So what we're learning here is that Adobim needs to practice free people. That's what I'm hearing.
No. I mean, you can have like crazy win streaks with the free people, but it's impossible to get to the consistency needed with Shadow, and the lose streaks are so much harder when you play the free people. I just can't see how it's 55-45.
It's definitely true that. So and to be clear, I do want to emphasize that while these questions will have fun statistics and stuff like that, there's no way all of these can tell the true story, the full story. But I think it's a good indicator. One of the things I don't have here is that effectively every player's average Shadow rating is better than their average free people rating.
By a lot.
That tracks, yeah.
Yeah, quite possibly, often by like 100, which is usually like 50 slots, 30 to 50 slots on the ranking. So yeah, it's interesting.
And in Elo system, a difference of 100 Elo is around 65% win rate. So I'm not sure if that's the right. We were talking about it on the strategy channel, but I'm not sure if that's the right calculation. But it just feels to me that would make so much more sense, like 65-35. I can live with that. I can't live with 55%. It can't be true. I mean.
Well, how about this then? So then the next question is, when only looking at the best players, which I've defined as the winner was rated better than 650, which is 75 players, and this is at time of play. What was the shadow player win rate with no tokens? No tokens, no dwarven rings. So
wait,
when
again, again?
Yeah. So when just looking at the best players, so
Okay.
just high level play, which for the purposes today, I have described as the winner was rated 650 plus when they played the game.
With the shadow?
Whoever won, their rating of their side was 650 plus.
But we're talking now only about the shadow, right? So
Yes, the shadow player win rate. So what was the
Yeah.
shadow win rate? And
If you only
Okay.
account for the high rated players.
Yes, and this one is harder to measure, but
it doesn't take into account the win rate of the free people. So the shadow could have like 650, and the free people would have 700. That's possible.
What the way I had to do the sorting for this was that whoever was the winner, whether they were free or shadow, their rating was 650 or above.
But their opponent could have a higher rating than them.
Yes, and yes, or
Okay.
lower. It could. This
Okay.
unfortunately includes pub stomps.
Okay. Okay.
So when Peter M loads up and decides to play, rank 305 on the ladder, this includes those games.
Okay, that's pretty important information. Yeah.
Give you a sec more to think about it, and we'll do the same thing. Anyone within a percent gets the point, but if no one gets it, the closest gets it. Give you a few more seconds here. Submit in 3, 2, 1. Submit. Adobim at 60 flat, Biz at 71.5, and Sirius at 56.0. The answer is 62.5.
Nice.
So that'll be Adobim with the point.
For shadow?
The shadow win
Blank
rate
shadow.
is 62.5.
Wow. Thought it would be much higher.
And so first off, thanks to Capsers for making the output of the data that allowed for MMR at time of play to be computed. And then the other little mini note I'll add here is that Magnus Carlsen has a 60% win rate as white, but only a 50% win rate as black in chess. So it's interesting to me that those are pretty comparable. So that like ultra high level white has an even higher win rate than just generic play, and it's similar for shadow in War of the Ring. However, the stat I don't have here available to show that I also ran was like, all right, what about ultra high level games where only like the top 10 people are playing each other?
But I also think there's an interesting metric to be measured in what if you only control for high level players playing other high level players? You just need to know what that looks like.
I can answer that first. I did run that. So what I did was only players in the top 50 when they play each other, basically. And with that number with 0 tokens was effectively 60% flat for shadow.
Look at that.
That makes sense.
However, if you do like only like the top 20 players, it kept coming out as something like an 80% win rate for shadow. And
I mean,
to be clear, Adobim, you were a very significant percentage of those.
Really? I would think that Ace, because Ace would like last year had like a 95% win rate.
He did, but when you only talk about high players playing high players.
Oh, I see.
And then the shadow win rate does go up quite a bit.
Yeah, this year I had such an insane streak. I think that one thing about the shadow is at some point when you get to be very consistent, you need to be more fluid in a sense, and not do just rush for do and do the regular strategy. And I think that makes it possible to win many more games and have like just a higher win rate, and just makes me feel that the Shadow is so much stronger, because I think
Go ahead.
yeah
Go ahead.
yeah because I think there are so many like catastrophic rolls for the free people that can pretty much destroy your game. But with Shadow, if you get a very bad roll, then the free people can counter you, but it's very rare they can counter you on all fronts. So
Yep.
both North, Gondor, and even Grey Havens. So it's super rare when you have these games. So I think this what gives Shadow just being so much better and handling like randomness so much better.
Well, and if you
But
think
so
about
easy
it,
to come back. Like,
yeah,
you can come back from any situation as Shadow almost. You can't do that as free.
yeah, you're just action dice limited. Like, say the game goes 10 turns and you just give free people 5 dice every round just for some numbers. Okay, they got to have 50 turns. 15 of those were moving the Fellowship. 5 or more were hiding the Fellowship. Okay, they get to do 30 things on the map total. Well, Shadow got to do 30 things by round 4. You know, like
This
Yeah,
is
and
this is one of the major reasons why a drum that I've been beating for quite some time is that uh, crowning Aragorn, I think, is underutilized by the vast majority of people that play free. I don't think the value is fully appreciated. You see Strider, you understand how good Strider is, but I think Aragorn gives you the ability to reduce some of that variance simply because of the extra action dice.
I know that when I look at when I see someone crown Aragorn early, it terrifies me. And I do think another portion of that is just how rarely those games happen, so I'm less experienced against it, right?
it's also, I think that Shadow can actually ignore parts of the maps of the map, and that saves a lots of actions, and the free people can never ignore any part of the map. So you need sometimes to just kind of waste your actions to proactively protect certain places. So it even like lowers the amount of actions you actually have.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep talking about this a bit as we move into the next question. It's 2-0 to 2. Biz, I'm looking to come back. The comeback will be real, I believe.
I'm just
I
playing.
think he should get 1 point for the first one because he was the closest.
Okay. I'm on board.
I get my pity point. Nice.
All right, next question. Looking at those same high-rated players, what was the Shadow player win rate with 2 tokens for free people, no Dwarven rings? So the win rate was 62.5 with no tokens, no rings. How much did 2 tokens for free people change that number?
Can we ask how many games are included in that
So
count?
the 0 tokens games was 565. The 2 tokens games was just under 1400. So people in general are playing that way. And I actually suspect a lot of those 0 token games were from the tournament where you were required to play 0 tokens.
Right.
For the first 2 games. Give you a few seconds here. Submit in 3, 2, 1, go. Adobim
Look
at
at
50.
that.
Adobim at
boy.
58 flat, Biz 58.5, and Cirrus at 58. The answer is 62.1.
Really?
It makes almost no
Yeah.
change. And when I did the other way of doing it, where I just looked at the top 50 players, it was like a 1.5% change. It is over from the 2025 data. I make no particular statement in this thing of the general efficacy of tokens, but the win rate for Shadow does not change a lot with 2 tokens for free people.
Really surprising.
Wow.
It's if we're being honest, like 1,000 games, it's not nothing, but it's not a lot in terms of overall data, right?
Yeah.
It is it is weird how statistics work. You're like, well, it's almost 1,400 games. That would surely be, well, yeah, some yes, some no, and a lot of things are being ignored here. Excuse me. You know, how many of
But
those
I think
were?
it's generally true that 2 tokens doesn't do enough for free people.
I think
That doesn't surprise me.
We've all
I mean,
seen I can't remember. I think it was Rumpsteele who once just gave
Yeah.
infinite tokens for
Yep.
Shadow. So
for a
some
world
players.
tournament, I think.
Is that right?
I
Is that
believe it
true?
was for a world tournament.
Well, yeah. So, some people just do not value them. Don't think they help at all. I'm not one of those people, but there are strong players who believe that.
And I think the Vegas game that Ira helped cast 2 years ago
oh, right.
between
Right.
Rumsteele and someone whose name I'm forgetting. I do apologize to your opponent. I think they went with 7 tokens. I think it was something fairly high like that.
Which is just about the same thing as infinite
Effectively
tokens.
infinity. Yeah. It's an interesting thing that it's that it's that way.
So I think that like the master token usually equates into one Elven Elite, like most games, I would say,
a fair amount
because
of the time, yeah.
and I mean that helps. That has to help
Yep.
somehow. And the second token, I mean, the second token can sometimes backfire, but the second token can help you if you're getting stuck inside Moria
Mhm.
and against cruel weather. So this also has to help, like somehow.
Yeah.
Statistically, it helps Shadow.
Yeah.
Well, and
Right?
I wonder to some extent, I do think the muster token's probably helpful, but I wonder if it goes to your comment from earlier. Okay, I got an elf in Woodland Realm, but like a good Shadow player will know when to pivot or when to just play the Deadly Strife and kill you anyway, kind of thing.
I'm thinking about what you said about most of the games with 0 tokens being played in the tournament, and I wonder if that's really the effect that we're seeing here. That
for
free
this
people was much more on top of things in a tournament setting for whatever reason.
Could be.
Yeah.
You only see tokens in a tournament setting,
For game
typically in the tiebreaker match. So it's interesting.
And
But-
I'm also interested in seeing how 2 master tokens change things, because I think this changes much more, because if Shadow can't really get Woodland Realm on the first turn under siege, then mastering the elves twice with a master token is pretty strong. So I don't know.
Or even just once for Gondor, so that Minas Tirith for guaranteed gets their elite or whatever. Yeah.
Or even Dalam Roth and
Yep.
protect against Corsairs. Strong.
I've seen a proposal float around, not frequently, but here and there over the last couple years, that perhaps we should allow bidding units as a handicap mechanism.
I know
Additional
that's
starting
a way
units on
to
the
do
board.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never played that way. I don't know what the formal rules would be, but it's always intrigued me. I think it would be, I suspect it would be a really interesting handicap mechanism that could lead to some pretty big swings. I know personally, if I wanted to play Shadow, I would not give free people very many units over the starting setup. It's hard enough as it is.
Yeah, and you'd have to be careful. There would have to be rules like if I give you 3 regulars, they can't all be in Dale or whatever.
Sure, yeah, you'd set it up somehow.
That's how they
I
do
like the
access and
tokens,
allies
so.
in bidding.
Oh, really?
Is that right?
Yes, they bid for access or allies, and they give IPCs.
Oh, okay.
So you can have an extra infantry or an artillery or whatever. And it works pretty well, I think.
It's been long enough since I played Axis and Allies. I just remember feeling like the Axis was super doomed at all times. So I'd have to really dig back into it. At this point, I'd be like, yeah, 30 IPCs, go for it.
Mm. Adobim, what's your feeling on Dwarven Rings? You ever play that way?
Yeah, of course. I think that the master token is better than a Dwarven Ring on average, and then the Dwarven Ring is stronger than the draw token, which is why I think it's really silly that like the tokens are worth more points than the dwarven rings because those two tokens are not the same. So it's always very silly when someone counters you by giving an offer that is actually worse than what you give. So
Well, and this is a great time
Yeah.
to bring up the next question, which is,
Oh boy.
for those same high-rated players, what was the shadow player win rate when the free people received at least one token and at least one dwarven ring? So this is all the way up to 7 muster tokens or 7 dwarven rings, but they
what
received...
was the answer before? 62?
The 62.1 was when there were 2 tokens. 62.5 was with nothing. So those same players, what was the shadow player win rate with at least 1 token and at least 1 dwarven ring for the free people?
That's got to be even fewer games, right?
It is, one sec while I
Yeah.
do this without showing the answer. 730 games. So more than nothing, more than the no tokens.
If we want to have the conversation about the relative virtues of dwarven rings versus action tokens as a handicap mechanism, we can start a flame war in the YouTube comments and farm engagement.
Yeah, there we go. Well, and I'm almost to 200 subscribers, so only like 1,200 more, and I'll have caught up to Ira, you know. All right, everybody got their answers in 3, 2, 1. Adobim
I'm
with
sticking it.
58 flat, Biz at 56 flat, and Sirius at 60 flat. The answer is 56.8. So the point goes to technically closer is Biz. Yes, math is hard.
Yeah.
Okay. Biz on his comeback streak.
I rounded up.
But yeah.
So that's the variance crushing that question,
Yeah,
right?
for
Like,
sure.
surely.
For sure.
Yes.
That includes 2 or 3 tokens, right? Like 2 tokens,
Yes.
2 rings.
Yes.
Yeah.
It includes all combinations because otherwise it was just too slicing the cake too thin to do any specific count. Although like 2 tokens and 1 ring, and anything above 2 in either category was very rare. The other interesting thing is if you just do all players, what's the shadow player win rate if the free people get at least 1 token and 1 dwarven ring? The shadow player win rate goes down to 52.3. So kind of no matter which way you're looking at it, a dwarven ring really does make a marked difference in the win rate for the free people.
I just feel like it's a worse mechanic compared to the tokens.
I strongly agree.
I don't like having 3 or more dwarven rings, but 1 I think is good.
Yeah, maybe 1 is okay.
Just you're saying from like a fun perspective, or?
Yeah, because once you have a ton of dwarven rings, it's just free people is going to change everything into movement and sprint.
Yep, it's sprint games all day.
If you have 1 though, I mean, it discourages Shadow from allocating 0 eyes. Maybe they will anyway, but it's a slight discouragement, and it helps a little bit with Gandalf. So I think 1 is a pretty good balance. I like 2 tokens, 1 ring. I feel like that's the most balanced game that we have, even if maybe it's still not balanced.
I ran these questions. Go for it, Adobim.
I kind of agree.
Yeah,
that's it.
I ran these questions past Generic Pie, just make sure I wasn't being completely off base. He had a good point. He pointed out that if you re-roll a muster or a hybrid as free people, you have a very high percentage of turning it into a movement. And so one could, like something like 2/3 of the time, 3/4 of the time, a dwarven ring in a sprint game is the same as an elven ring, but better because you don't give it to the shadow. I thought that was an interesting point.
Been turns too where I've re-rolled a Palantir, and I would have been happy if it was a muster. I would have been happy if it was a character die. So it can be pretty strong.
All right, then final question about win rates. What is the win rate for Shadow base game when the 2 players are equal ranking, as in within 100 MMR of each other? no tokens. So we were off the pro players only, but when there are two players that are, pardon me, equal in rank within 100 MMR, what do you suppose the shadow player win rate is?
Interesting.
Next time I do this, I'm going to have to find a way to show your guys' answers on screen. That'll be a bit more readable, but for today, I'll read them out. So as a friendly reminder, all games, no tokens was 55.8. So does that increase or decrease if the players are equally rated? Answers in 3, 2, 1, go. Adobim with 51 flat, Biz with 60
51.
flat, and Cirrus with 56 flat. So two of you think the shadow win rate will go up if the players are equally matched. The answer is 53.4. If the players are
Interesting.
equally
God damn it.
matched.
Oh, I still get it, right?
Yep, you still get it.
Yeah.
So if the players are
There's a metaphor
matched,
for War of the Ring in there somewhere.
but yeah, if the players are equally matched or near enough, that the win rate comes closer to 55 or 50-50, excuse me.
So what I was thinking here is actually if the ranking of the shadow and the free people are equal, it means that the free people are stronger in a sense, because the average
Yeah.
rating of the free people is lower. So
Yeah.
So it should edge slightly more to the free people side.
Which
You also, if
Go
you
for it.
include like less experienced players, right, you would expect the free people number to go up. I think as we see, as you get more experience, your shadow win rate creeps higher, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually not for points, but you can see this graph that I'm showing in the video as well. What I'm showing here is the win rate for the higher ranked player. So if you're within 0 to 50, the higher ranked player will win effectively 52% of the time. If you're 100 to 150, you're going to win 65% of the time, which is funny that you said that number, Adobim, earlier. So the higher ranked player wins a percentage of the time based on how much better they are.
Yeah, this is how the ELO system is supposed to work, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
this is how the scoring should work, but we can see some anomalies in the 250 and 300. I wonder if it's a sample size thing.
Well,
It has to be sample size.
So if you take the 10th rated player's shadow player, to go down 300 points, you have to go to the 300th ranked player. So it's anything above 250 is a very small sample size, unfortunately, for this graph. I probably should have cut that down a little bit, but. All right. So that's win rate. Any other quick comments before we move on to the next topic? Sounds good.
If you have a 450 point ELO difference with your opponent, be nice to them.
Yeah. Maybe spot them all the tokens and dwarven rings they could ever possibly desire.
I think it also says a lot about this game where 400 ELO difference is so massive, and in chess, for example, you can have 2,000 difference.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's also go for it.
I've wondered in the past if we should have a more granular scoring system. I don't know. Maybe we allocate too many points, take away too many points per win.
Yeah, I could see some sort of argument.
But then it would favor people who just play a lot, no?
I mean,
well, you still have to win your games, right?
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is always true that if you go play new players, as I called it pub stomping earlier, you will go up the ranks. If you just play people who are weaker than you, there is no mechanic.
I don't know. They got something special going on. They got hands.
Well,
we also
they roll 20 movement in 4 turns. It'll happen.
Well, and that's, as you can see here, you see in this graph, even I'm 200 ELO better than my opponent. I only win 3/4 of the time. It's like, well,
yeah.
This game does have dice.
One thing I'm quite sure of is like this is I think almost inarguable. We start people too high on Elo. You start at 500.
Right.
No one who's like playing for the first time has a 500 Elo. Nobody.
I agree.
All
I
right.
think in a happier world we might have like a fuzzy kind of when you're new, your elo swings wider, right? But that's a harder thing to
It's
to
much
build.
harder. Do the like StarCraft system, you do 5 placement matches or something like that.
Something like that.
Ah,
Or
well.
just start it on 400, or maybe it makes the grind and all the elo system kind of change. I don't know.
Yeah.
Man, there's no simple answers. How dare they? All right, next question. What percent of rated base games did the Shadow player allocate 0 eyes in the first round? What percent of rated base games did the Shadow player allocate 0 eyes in the first round? And at risk of tipping something, I will say this answer surprised me. You'll be shocked by answer number 7.
Now cut the YouTube video and make a part 2.
Yeah. Join us next week. All right. Think about your answer. I should have said earlier, but obviously anyone watching, you can feel free to be, keeping score with yourself and seeing if you could beat these guys. All right, answers in 3, 2, 1. Adobim at 20%, Cirrus at 35, and Biz at 57. The
57.
answer is 50.6. Biz by quite a bit is the closest.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Yeah, effectively half the games are 1 eye. Just under just are 0 eye. Just under that is 1 eye, and then there's 2% of people who are doing 2 or more eyes on the first turn.
It's
That's
2% of people who are wrong.
Yeah. Well, and maybe that transitions us straight into the next question. What was the difference in Shadow player win rate in 0 eye games versus 1 eye games? So if they went from winning 50% of the time to 55% of the time, you would say
so the difference.
5. Yep, the difference between win rates for 0 eyes versus 1 eye. And if you think it's worse to play 0 eyes, your number will be negative. So what was the difference in Shadow player win rate in 0 eye versus 1 eye games? How much better or worse is it in general win percentage to put 0 eyes versus 1 eye?
This is a good stat.
All right. Answers in 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, wow.
Everybody has said 2%. So you're all going to get a point. The answer is it's an almost 7% increase in win rate to put 0 eyes. So you go from the difference between them is 51.4 if you put 1 eye and a 58.2 if you put 0 eyes.
How many games do we have a count?
That I might be able to pull up quickly.
This is the sort of thing where I accept. I didn't think the difference was this large, but I accept that it is probably correct to do 0 eyes. But I don't do it because losing the way you lose if you gamble and lose on 0 eyes is like the worst way to lose the game. It feels so bad.
Your Shadow, you can come back. I really believe that.
Yeah, but even if they still have to roll movement, right? If they roll one movement, then you're actually pretty good with this 0 eyes start.
Again, this is like this is an emotional thing. I am not saying it's statistically better. I'm saying it feels bad when you lose that gamble, which happens in the minority of cases.
Well, and I'm just also of the mind that if they roll 4 movement and you have 1 eye, are you really much better off than 0 eye? Some games, but some games you'll just miss 3 times, hit a 4th, and kill Gandalf.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah.
It's true.
The question was how many games? Is that what you were asking?
I was curious what kind of sample size we were working with
Well,
to
so
see
it's-
an 8% difference.
It's all games. So all we're talking 3,600 games in which Shadow won. And so 1,900 of those were 0 eyes and 1,600 of those were 1 eye, to do some pretty heavy rounding.
Incredible.
Incidentally, if you put 2 eyes, the 51 games in which that happened and Shadow won, we have a dead flat 50% win rate.
I kind of
Pretty
wonder,
surprised
like,
that it's so
how
large.
if there's like an elo correlation here that people with higher elo put 0 eyes.
That's a really good question.
I think that's entirely possible that especially people who maybe not even grinding but just want to be high on the ladder are like, well, I'm playing a ladder game and I want to win, like I think it's quite possible that the statistic is weighted because of
It
that.
sounds kind of crazy that it has such a big difference. I mean, I think that 0 eyes is better, but not like
Not 8% better.
Yeah.
8% better.
7, but yeah.
That's that.
So what we're learning is that to make the game balanced, we just force Shadow to allocate 2 eyes on the first round, and then we have a balanced game on our hands.
I've heard crazier suggestions.
Yeah, you joke, but you could just say act as though the Fellowship moved last turn. They have to allocate.
Yeah, that wouldn't be like utterly crazy. And then just as a random stat, you can just, not for points, but just for funsies, would you say that a 0 eye game is more or less likely to end in a corruption of Frodo than a 1 eye game?
I don't think it made much difference either way.
I think it's more likely
to corrupt
More
at
likely?
0.
Yeah, I think if you allocate 0 eyes, you are more likely to get your dice online. 3 people is more likely to move too quickly and corrupt themselves. I think the answer is more. That's my opinion.
The quick stat I have here is that 1 eye games are 4% more likely to corrupt Frodo. So it goes from 10% of games where Shadow won, it was because of corruption, or excuse me, yeah, a 0 eye game where Shadow wins is at 10% of the time it was due to corruption, and then a 1 eye game where Shadow won, it's 14% of the time it was due to corruption. So some, but not crazy amounts. And I'll glance at numbers. We're talking about 400 games each sample size there, so not that many.
Only 10% end in corruption?
Yeah, corruption's actually a weirdly low rate of occurrence.
That's
10% of all games?
Of games where Shadow won.
Of games where Shadow won.
I would have to pull that stat differently.
So
I feel like I lose to corruption as much as I lose to military, to be honest.
Yeah, and I wonder if it's one of those things where people are effectively going to lose, or like are causing themselves to lose to corruption when they really wouldn't have due to fighting a military victory and stuff like that.
I think that the calculus of like, you have to keep your corruption under 12, that it's like a good thing to sacrifice companions means that people don't lose to corruption because they move carefully, they shuffle off companions, they stop moving if they're going to be corrupted, and then they lose the other way, right?
Yeah. I'm seeing
maybe to rephrase, like, people don't take the risk of dying to corruption, and so they don't.
Yeah, I would imagine that's true. We're gonna test.
I think the other way around, if I got you correctly, because sometimes you're going to lose, so you might as well try to run for it.
No, I think that's probably the wiser way to play, but I don't think most people play that way.
Okay.
if I were to guess.
I'm doing a quick, see if I can confirm my number. Nope, I can't quickly. Okay, so, and then the other mini stat is that 1i games on average last 1 round longer than 0i games. So it goes from 9 rounds effectively for a 0i game to almost 10 for a 1i game, which is interesting. Our next question is a graph question. So here is the graph.
No.
Please label for me these axes. We've switched to a bar chart, completely different than the line graphs we've been doing.
Feel pretty confident about this one.
We're about 2/3 of the way through the quiz, so I'm just keeping an eye on that time, so we keep people being where they need to be. So answers in 3, 2, 1. Oh, Biz, finish typing. Okay. How often? So Adobim, turn where the game ends. Biz, on how often the game ends on each turn, and yes, Cirrus as well. You have all correctly stated that this is how many is effectively the number of games that end on that round. So most of the games
probably all watched that 20-turn game.
Yeah, well, yeah, the technical winner was the 27 round game that 2 players played in the tournament.
Oh man.
And then there was the 26 round game that Peter M played with I'm forgetting his opponent, I apologize, that I casted last week or whatever. But yeah, something like 70% of games end on rounds 8, 9, and 10. That's kind of fun. Another graph question. What do you guys think of this graph? This
What is
basically flat line.
pretty big clue on the left side of the x-axis, right?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah, okay.
But if you know that, then what's the other one?
I don't have it.
Ooh, okay.
I have no idea.
Remove that.
My answer can't be right.
Yeah, this is actually because I feel like I know the x-axis, but it's actually very tricky to figure out the y from that.
Well, if nobody gets it fully, people who get the x-axis will get the point. How about that? A few more minutes to see you're typing your answers. And just as long as it's clear, you know what you're intending the right thing, I'll take it. I don't need to be ultra clear. Oh, and as a quick note from we talked about this in the prologue or the example rounds when we were setting everything up. But the graph for round, there's a bump at one round. This is concessions. There an actually not zero amount of games were conceded on round 1, and also some people forget to put the round number in it, and it gets, or they default it to 1, having forgotten to put in the correct number. So anything you see in the previous graph that was at round 1, that's what was happening there. So, all right, answers for this graph in 3, 2, 1. Go. Turns. So Adobim, Aragorn. What turn Aragorn is crowned versus the turn the game ends? That's a good guess. Biz, Strider is crowned versus average Shadow player victory points. That's a good guess. Cirrus, percent of games where Aragorn is crowned, which the percents are hopefully not that low. and then not quite sure on the rest. So it is indeed what round Aragorn is crowned. And then it's interest rating on the y-axis. So weirdly, I would have thought games where Aragorn was crowned on the first round would have a significant bump in interest rating, but no. Basically, every game is the same whether he arrives or not. Although there is a mild bump for him arriving.
I know 10 is an outlier, but if you're crowning him turn 10, I kind of want to see that game.
Yeah, right.
So Biz and Adobim both put turn the Aragorn is crowned, so we're going to go ahead and count that as a correct x-axis.
On the original spreadsheet form that we used, it was mandatory to report an interest rating for your game. You had to fill in the field. When we moved to the website, Chelsea and I discussed whether or not it should stay mandatory or if it should be optional, like just give you the option not to choose an interest rating. And we kept it mandatory because I just like having this data. I like making people think about how much they enjoyed the game they just played.
It's fun, and then of course you get the same thing that you get with any rating system. So is a 5 a normal game in which nothing interesting happened and like it was just fine, or is that a 7? Like,
right?
Well, the movie was 3 out of 5 stars, basically awful, or whatever.
In the future, I would like to provide a feature on the website where we surface recommended replays, like a replay that looks enjoyable, and I think we would use interest rating as one metric to help surface kind of cool replays to the top.
There was actually something similar to that in the old Google Sheets that I thought was useful at the time, where it had high rating players, but also interest rating is also a great thing to follow.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
Yeah. The one mini thing I would say that we do need to be careful of, and I know you this, but I'm just gonna say it anyway, is if we ever did a recommended replays thing, we definitely want the permission from both players, because sometimes I'm like, oh, that game was amazing as I stomped the Shadow player with my Free People's Military victory, or whatever.
Yeah, you want to be careful though. These replays are public.
They are.
We do put them up there.
Yep. So at some level, they were always going to be available. So. All right, next question. What percent of base games is Aragorn crowned? So games that were submitted, that were rated base games that were submitted, in which case, what percent of those was Aragorn crowned at any point in the game? Think about it for a few more seconds here. All right, answers in 3, 2, 1, go. Adobim at 33%, Biz at 29%, Cirrus at 23%, and I do appreciate when you put them in alphabetically. That worked out well. The answer is 31.6, which is going to go to Adobim for closest. So 31.6, which is an astonishingly high number. I don't feel like I see Aragorn in a third of my games.
Neither do I.
But I remember it's higher than I expected. Yeah, it's interesting. How many of these are on turn 1?
Let's see. Can I give that information easily?
I also saw that on turn 2, you get the highest boost in win rate, which is interesting.
Free People wins. How many of these return one? Well, if only there was an easy way to do this. Okay, how about this? I will answer that question while you answer this question.
Okay.
What is the shadow player win percentage in base games where Aragorn is crowned turn 1? So the shadow player win percentage in all games was approximately 55-56%. What is the shadow player win rate in base games where Aragorn is crowned turn 1? No. Why are you being Excel, please? Okay. The number of games where Aragorn was crowned turn 1 is 413 out of 2,000-ish games where he was crowned at all.
So half, approximately.
More like a quarter.
Oh, more. Okay.
Yeah. Because only 400 out of 2,000-ish. Well, Excel's crashed on me. Okay. Answers to this question. What was the shadow player win rate in base games where Aragorn was crowned turn 1 in 3, 2, 1? Adobim says 52% flat, Biz at 51.1, and Cirrus at 51. The answer was 48.4, a point to Cirrus.
Oh,
wow.
It was a
0.1.
7% decrease in shadow player win rate when Aragorn is crowned turn 1.
I know that that's not a large number of games, but I will repeat that Aragorn is underutilized, generally speaking. I don't think 33% of games is high enough.
Yeah.
I
Also,
think if you can crown him turn 1, that's great. But turn 7, I don't know.
And actually, if you just look at the shadow player win rate for all crowning games, it's like 53-54%. And I think that does what that means is basically at some point, like the free people are like, I have to crown round 8, just I have to do it because of panic, and then they lose, but they were already losing, kind of thing. So
yeah, it makes sense. I think also that it makes, like, people usually bring Strider and Boromir to Minas Tirith, and then the shadow player will just go to Minas Tirith. So I never understood why that is the meta. Because it's,
I mean,
I don't get it.
Scared of a free people's military victory, I guess, but
then you're mastering Gondor. So
yeah.
I don't know. I think that people just misplay it and just go for it too easily.
What do you think is the correct response to seeing Strider and Boromir go to Minas Tirith?
A lot of times going north. Because if you can get these 5 points north, you most likely will win the game.
I agree with that. That's why the best situation is Book of Mizarble or Fearfire Foes. That's amazing.
Book of Mizarble is really makes a huge problem for Shadow, because then you don't have a good target at all anymore. But yeah, so you waste your first turn only moving Aragorn, and then okay, you get another dice, but it's not enough usually, because you're gonna get all Woodland Realm and everything in time. It is more important to take Kerok, I guess, because the things can get ugly in that direction. But if you can just capture all of the north, then yeah, it will take so much time to actually mount an attack and capture Mordor. So I think people just misplay it. So I don't know.
Well, Aragorn can defend too. He can defend Pelargir. He can go up to Rohan.
This is another thing. You're attacking Gondor, and with all these crazy Gondor cards being activated. So I don't know. and it's like the meta. People just go and attack Gondor. Like, why?
King. It's fun.
Why?
That's funny.
This is interesting. Has anyone here's a crazy question. I feel like I know the answer. Has anyone ever seen Strider activate the North?
I have not.
I've seen
haven't.
Aragorn do it, I think, but that was after he was crowned.
I've seen a crowned Aragorn awaken Dane in a King's game. But that's the closest I've got for you there. Yeah, it's certainly not a oft used mechanic.
Maybe crowning Aragorn should activate the North. That'd be cool. I'd enjoy that.
Ooh, that'd be fun. I know there was someone doing a house rule proposal where you could effectively crown Aragorn in Dale, and then make like a version where he was just a Northman, instead of a Gondor person or something like that.
Well, he is the High King.
I mean, the Shire would make more sense. I don't like. He doesn't really have a connection with Dale, but that's getting.
I'm sorry. I meant Shire or Bree. I said Dale, but I meant Shire or Bree.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, if we want to talk about what makes sense, there isn't really a kingdom in the North anymore by the time of the War of the Ring.
Hey,
Pencil shadow of it.
Barlaman Butterbur might give him the paper crown himself. All right. Last section, and this section is about victory points on the board. These questions will be worth 3 points if you get it all correct, and 2 points if you only miss one, because they are: first one, arrange these in order of least captured to most captured.
Oh boy.
Helm's Deep, Minas Tirith, Dol Amroth, Edoras, Pelargir.
From least to most?
Least to most. And this is at end of game as opposed to captured in the middle of the game and recaptured by the free people. So at the end of the game, regardless of state, base rated games, which of these is the least captured and which of these is the most captured? 3 points if you get them all in the correct order, and 2 points if only one is in the wrong order.
I guess.
This is what we do here.
And I will warn you, these numbers are closer than you might think.
I believe that.
Yeah, I do too. This is tough.
If you had to guess, would you guys say there's one outlier here?
I think
Yeah,
there's one
I
that gets
would.
captured the least significantly.
Need a few minutes, or you guys feel like you got it?
I got it.
Okay. Three answers in 3, 2, 1. All right. Adobim says Pelargir is the least, then Dol Amroth, Edoras, Helm's Deep, Minas Tirith. Biz says the least is Helm's Deep, Edoras, Dol Amroth, Minas Tirith, and Pelargir. And Cirrus says Minas Tirith is the least, then Edoras, Helm's Deep, Pelargir, and DA. Completely different lists.
Yeah.
And completely different lists than the answer. The answer is Edoras is the least captured at 42.1% of games. Minas Tirith is captured 45.1% of games. Helm's Deep is captured 45.3, so just a hair more. Dol Amroth is 45.8, and Pelargir is the outlier at 63.6% of games Pelargir is captured.
Nice.
Which is interesting. I think I would have said Dol Amroth way more.
Edoras is the lowest?
Edoras is the lowest by 3%.
Pelargir just gets captured so often, just on the last turn, right? That was my thinking.
Right. And that I think it makes sense that Pelargir is the most.
Yeah,
partially just
for
because it's
sure.
one of the two cities listed here, right? And it's certainly the one closer to a mustering point for Shadow. But
Mm, yeah.
I'm surprised Helm's Deep isn't a little higher. Although, like, effectively half of the games, Minas Tirith is captured, Helm's Deep is captured, and Dol Amroth is captured, which is interesting. I think that's a funny stat that they're all effectively equally taken, especially
Yeah.
given Corsairs.
Um. So what's the difference between
Here, I will give you a better way
Dolomorph
of
and
seeing this. Ignore the color. That's for chroma key.
Yeah, that's surprising.
And I'll give you that picture next time too, so it's a little easier for you to process the numbers. But yeah,
it's surprising to me that I would imagine that there would be a bigger discrepancy. Like Helm's Deep was harder for me to evaluate, but I would imagine that Dolormos would be captured much more than Minas Tirith.
right. I would
Because
have
of
thought so too.
Corsairs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because of Corsairs, and just because I just find Minas Tirith. I guess some people just go straight to Minas Tirith. There are some people who do that, so that puts it higher up.
I do
But if you
suspect
don't,
that more new players that are not like in the top 50 on the ladder enjoy
no,
going for Minas Tirith more.
there are also some players that are rated higher that prefer starting in Minas Tirith, and I would imagine that Minas Tirith is either captured the first, like as the first stronghold, or almost not at all.
I think it gets captured last a lot because I don't know what I
Yeah.
do often is I'll wait for Corsairs and then it doesn't come and it's turn 9, so I just send the 5 or 8 or 10 stack and the Easterlings to take Minas Tirith, and they can do that pretty reliably as the last 2 points or part of the last push.
Well, and sometimes you don't get Corsairs, so you just march to Pelargir, and then whichever one the Free People musters, you go to the other one, right?
Yeah.
Fun fact about Corsairs, my personal opinion is that it is like the poorest point of design in this otherwise excellent game. It's a terrible card.
You're not going to hear a lot of disagreement.
Yeah.
I think it should go either Lamedon, Pelargir, or Osgiliath. I think that would be a very interesting card. So it can't go directly to Dolaroth, but it could go Minas Tirith instead if you wanted.
Yeah, certainly not sitting straight on top of DA, or even if it did something like put Gondor straight to war if you do this, or something like that. Maybe that
if you go to Lamedon, at least then they can muster Gondor once.
Yeah, I kind of like this fix.
Yeah,
I think it's a good fix.
Stamp of
and I gotta say,
for
cruel weather needs to be on step 2 or more, and that fixes the card as well. In my opinion,
that's an interesting idea.
Hot takes.
Never mind. We don't need bidding. We just fix the game right here now.
Yeah.
Do you not like the WOM fix of adding an entire rulebook?
Yeah. But you can go to Grey Havens. All right. Second to last question. Arrange these in order of least captured to most captured. All of Dew, so Dale, Erebor, and Woodland Realm all fell. Gondor, as in all points in Gondor. Rohan, all points in Rohan. Rivendell, Shire. So if Erebor does not fall, Dew has not fallen. If Minas Tirith and Dol Amroth are taken, but Pelargir survives, Gondor has not fallen. But obviously I'm not counting like Lossarnach.
Does this include, is this just base game?
Base game. Or base game only.
Okay.
Rated base games. And we're doing 3 points if all correct, 2 if only one wrong. And if we need to, we'll go to 1 point if only 2 are wrong, although I think that didn't apply in the last one. Might make me pull out a tiebreak question here at this point. This one does have some larger differences in percentages. That 45.1, 45.3, 45.8 was a little tricksy. This one's a little bit more spread out. Everybody about ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, answers in 3, 2, 1, go. Adobim says do is the least, clarifying, correct?
It's the most captured.
Okay, so you're saying Rivendell is the
Rivendell.
least, then Shire,
Yeah.
then Gondor, then Rohan, then do. Viz says the least captured is Rivendell, then Rohan, then Gondor, then the Shire, then do. And then Sirius is saying least captured is do, Rohan, Shire, Gondor. He has not listed.
I neglected to list Rivendell. I'm sorry, I messed up.
Where do you want it?
Where would I put it? I would have put it least captured of all of these.
Least captured. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we will look at if any of you score points as I show you the answer. The answer is that the Shire is the least captured at 9.8%, Rivendell at 14.6%, Gondor at 20.7%, Dew at 27%, and Rohan at 29.2%, which I was very surprised.
Wow.
I was debating between like which would be first, Rohan or Do, because when you capture Rohan, you kind of have to capture everything, because otherwise things can get kind of ugly unless it's like, you just go for a quick Helm's Deep for the last point.
Yeah.
And Do, a lot of times you just capture, you leave Erebor. It can happen.
I was very surprised to find that this was different. Incidentally, Adobim, you have successfully only got 2 wrong, so we're going to give you that 1 point.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised that Rivendell is captured more than the Shire.
Really?
I feel like I take the Shire every other game, so I was a little surprised by that too.
Yeah, it's only in 644 games was the Shire taken, as opposed to Rivendell, which is just under 1,000.
I think in higher rated games the Shire has to be taken more. It's too low. It almost makes me reevaluate the power of Tom Bombadil. as a card, the card that I don't. It's not such a strong combat effect, and it can win you the game by giving you another turn.
Well, it's like an. Oh no, it wasn't in the Peter M game. He did Power Too Great when there was no Shadow.
Oh yeah, where it just locked him off.
But if you do that if you do Tom Bombadil and Power Too Great when Shadow has no cards left, they have to capture literally every other point on the map.
That's crazy.
Not for points, but just for funsies. What do you think is the single most captured point on the map?
Oh, should we type?
No, just call it out.
It's gotta be Dale, right?
Yeah, it has to be Dale.
Dale or Woodland Realms? It is, in fact, Dale. Dale is captured in 65.1% of games, followed immediately by Woodland Realm at 61.3% of games. Pardon me. Pelargir at 63.6%. So actually, Pelargir is captured more often than Woodland Realm, which I find ludicrous.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. I just wasn't thinking of cities.
Speaking of captured, for the final question, same scoring mechanism. Arrange these in least captured to most captured. Dol Guldur, Umbar, Moria, Barad-dûr, and Minas Morgul.
Least to most.
Least to most, please. And please
least to most. Okay.
As long as you're clear, we're good, but I prefer least to most in rated base games. And while you're doing that, if you had to guess what you suppose is the single least captured point in the whole map.
On either side?
Yeah. Should be relatively easy. That's right, Farharad.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty clearly.
Sadly, we do not have data from the cities expansion for how often East Rune and Arid Luin are captured for the 40 games that were submitted with cities variant.
Cities is the most interesting variant that I never play with.
Right.
Gotta play more cities. It's so fun.
I have a couple stockpiled games that are in the to cast pile where I played cities and it mattered.
Kings, Loam, and cities is the best experience I've ever had in this game. I wish we
what
could do
loam
that
and cities?
Kings.
Kings, Lords, and cities.
And do
I
you
think it
play
is
with
almost
council?
perfectly balanced.
Do you play with council when you do that?
I have tended towards no council.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I think it just makes Kings more interesting.
I agree.
I don't know if it's too different balance wise, but it makes it more fun.
I would agree.
Council's pretty strong in Kings.
All right.
You can corrupt.
Need a few minutes more? You got it.
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready to.
Answers in 3, 2, 1, go. Adobim says the least captured is Barad-dûr, followed by Moria, Minas Morgul, Umbar, and Dol Guldur. Biz says the least captured is Minas Morgul, then Barad-dûr, Moria, Umbar, most is Dol Guldur. And Sirius says the least captured is Moria, Dol Guldur, Umbar, Barad-dûr, Minas Morgul. The answer is Barad-dûr is the least captured, followed by Minas Morgul, followed by Moria, followed by Umbar,
almost
followed
got
by
it.
Dol Guldur.
Wow.
Yeah, I almost had it. We swapped.
So let's see. Yeah, Biz, you're just one off, and Adobim, you are
One off.
one off. Your Barad-dûr is just in the wrong place, so that will be 2 points.
I was second guessing myself because I figured maybe Free People, because so often Shadow defends Minas Morgul and then Free People just walk into Gorgoroth.
Yeah,
That wasn't even close.
I was a little surprised that you put Minas Morgul below Barad-dûr, so they got to Barad-dûr without capturing Minas Morgul, but that is a thing.
Or it gets recaptured.
Yeah,
That was my thinking.
Yeah, or they just came in through the Black Gate, right? But I thought that was interesting. I actually was a little surprised that Barad-dûr was as low as it was compared to Minas Morgul, because I feel like the games where you capture something in Mordor, everything is free. It's like there's 3 regulars between everything.
Yeah, but I think there are a lot of stabs, and people sometimes make mistakes when they attack Osgiliath, and you just sneak inside.
You just
So I
scouts
think
That's why
back to the
Minas Morgul is
Ithilians.
higher. Yeah, you're right.
Umbar,
Dol Guldur is so central. It makes sense. Umbar makes sense because of Corsairs.
And also Dol Guldur makes sense because it's the least
Old Forest Road.
recapturable.
Mm-hmm.
Other than maybe Mount Gundabad, but it's 3 spaces from 3 different mustering points for free people. 4 if you count Karak, I guess. And once it's captured, reinforcements are 4 moves away from Moria, and it's like is it even worth it? And once they have Dol Guldur, you're worried about them getting Moria anyway, so that makes at least some sense. It does
what
mean
I learned from this is that
I
need to do more Free People military attempts.
Yeah. It does mean that Dol Guldur is captured more often than Grey Havens.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. Yep. So, well, that's our game. Thank you all for joining us. We have our winner in Adobim, winner in the ladder, and winner in this quiz show. Congratulations.
Woo!
What is my prize? What is my prize?
Oh, the adoration and esteem of your peers.
I'll take that.
You gain enough ladder rating to reclaim first.
Yeah, that's it. Your reward is 50
I'll take
ELO.
that as well.
thank you all. Thank you all, to all my guests, Adobim, Biz, and Sirius. I hope you all enjoyed. And
This was great. Thank you so much for hosting.
yeah,
A lot of fun.
my pleasure. And
Yeah, it was
thank
great.
you.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.